All right, welcome to Espresso Agent Mastery Session. If you guys have been here before, you know what we do. What we do is go out and find some really cool people that are doing things really well, and we bring them in. They volunteer an hour of their time to share ideas with you. And the good folks at Espresso Agent, that's their number one goal, is just to continue to bring you value. You get this data every day that helps you with your lead gen and helps you grow your business. But there is more to life than just the data. So that's what this is all about. And I applaud you guys for being here and investing in yourselves and your growth. So good job. One question that always gets asked is, can I see this replay? And the answer is yes. This will be posted on Espresso Agent's YouTube channel. If you haven't gone there, go there and subscribe, and then you'll get notifications when something new comes up. And there's a whole library of all of the past webinars that we've done. And there's some really good stuff in there. So feel free to go to the Espresso Agent YouTube channel. Also, a copy of this will be either emailed to you or sent through the system. And Chris has a special offer to a free course that she's got. She's going to talk to us at the end. And that link will be in that email as well. Perfect. You guys know, if you've been on these calls before, you're muted. And that is not because we don't want to hear from you. Exact opposite of that. We do want to hear from you. Yes. But for your listening pleasure, we have muted everybody because it gets really, really chatty, if not. So the tool for you to use to interact and let Chris know that you are here is the chat bar at the bottom. So go ahead and post your questions. I'll be monitoring it. I'll interrupt her with your question, or for sure circle back to it if she's on a roll. All right. So I think with that, I'm going to introduce you. Chris is coming to us from Michigan, where here's the good news, guys. She is an active agent. So she's not so far removed from what we're doing every day that she forgets. So actually you're what, top 5 in all of Michigan? Is that right?
Yep, correct.
That's incredible. Way to go. So not only are you in the trenches, but you're doing it at a high level. And you're also the founder and chief trainer at the Real Estate Marketing Institute, which is a A+ Better Business Bureau rated company.
It is.
With completely like legitimate ties to a lot of different partners in real estate, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. We kind of partner with a bunch of tech software and different resources. We even partner with real estate licensing schools around the country. The whole business model was really to bridge the gap between new agents and onboarding into this crazy wild world of real estate that we live in, to help them make 6 figures every year.
Love it. And that is what you're going to talk to us today about, how to make 6 figures without spending 6 figures, right?
Correct. Yeah, you don't have to spend that much money to make that much money, believe it or not.
Good. So what do you, before you get started, what do you do in your free time if you have any, which it sounds like you don't have much?
Well, I do a couple things. I like to just hang out in my house. I live by the water, so I love to be on the water.
Nice.
The other thing I like to do is hang out with my kids when I can have time, when they'll make time for me. I have teenage boys, so mom's not so cool anymore, but when I can wrangle them to play a game with me, I love to have like family game night, that sort of thing.
That's awesome.
And then decorating is just one of my well, I should know it's an expensive passion, but I love to decorate. Clients know this about me. I talk about decorating all the time.
That's awesome.
And like my office, I actually just finished decorating this office here. I'm a wallpaper lover. If you can see the wallpaper here, this is not a tile.
Yeah.
So decorating is like one of my all-time joys. Like I'll sit and look at different pictures of different things and get ideas and create boards and, come up with future plans for the next house that I buy, because we move a lot because I love to decorate.
That's what realtors do.
I know, right? It's a gift of curse.
All right, let's get into the nitty gritty and show us what you got.
I love it. All right. Well, I do have a quick question for everyone, and you may or may not know this. I'm just going to share a couple. We don't have a whole lot of slides today because we're going to do just more dialogue and conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start with a question that comes up all the time. especially for new agents that I have conversations with. And if you are not familiar with NAR stats, a lot of people don't really know what they're getting into when it comes to real estate and their business. So here's kind of just a funny little quick slide that
go ahead and share yours. Oh yeah, you got it.
Yeah, there it is.
There you go.
So, if you're a member of the National Association of Realtors, there's about 1.3 million realtors that are registered with NAR. And of that, how many of them make six figures? It's less than 5%. That's insane. That's a lot. And for a lot of people getting into this business, including myself, when I got into it 5 years ago, there was no way I could make less than six figures. I had a lucrative career. There's no way I could afford the lifestyle that I had with my previous job by coming into real estate. So we're going to talk about a couple things that you can do in your business to, especially whether you're new or whether you've been in the industry for a while and you're trying to transform it or maybe revitalize it because you would like to try and meet that six-figure goal. Maybe it's been a goal of yours for a long time. You've just never been able to achieve it, which is oftentimes the case as well. The average income that a realtor makes is $43,000 a year. So, if you are in that position where you're going, I'm paying more out to fees and to try and market my business, and I'm not able to even get to that mark, that's where that 80% fail rate comes in. So, we're going to talk about ways that you can avoid the fail rate without also, having your wallet feel like it's hemorrhaging on you every time you need to go buy something. So, I'll go to this next slide here. Well, let me go to it here. Let's see. There we go. I'll just kind of walk through a little bit just about me so you can kind of learn a little about me and my background. And I know that Monica already went through some of this, but I am the founder of the Real Estate Marketing Institute. It is a Better Business Bureau accredited company. So when agents come to us wanting resources, services, and knowledge, they feel safe knowing that we're a business that is recognized and accredited, and we're truly out here to help agents be the best that they can be. I'm also a realtor, like you said. I have been a realtor here in Michigan for about 5 years, which isn't very long, but I've made huge strides in the industry from the onset, and I can kind of walk you through some of the things that I've done to make me stand out in my business, so that I have been given this opportunity. Like the next one is being a trainer at my local MLS, being offered the opportunity to come and talk to new agents. Was brought to me by the CEO. He called me one day randomly and he said, Chris, you're everywhere. And everyone keeps saying, who is this realtor? She's got all these listings. She came out of nowhere. And I started following your stuff. You know what you're doing. You need to teach our agents because this is what we need. And so I've been training at the local MLS for a couple of years now as well.
Nice.
Yes. And then I help with marketing and the business coaching. I came from a TV background, so I did have some of the skills walking in here as to how to market and create a business. So I think that really helps. And we'll walk through that a little bit today too in the conversation. And again, I'm a top 5% agent in Michigan, and I've been interviewed on many TV, radio, and print, and also by tech companies. And like you guys, I'm here talking about my business and supporting your business too, because what people may not know, I actually use Espresso Agent in my business, and it's a great tool, and it's something that agents really need to embrace technology. So if you haven't embraced technology, it's amazing how easy a lot of these platforms, including Espresso Agent, really is for your business. It's really easy to work. So, and then some fun facts. I spent $236 on ads in my very first year. And we're going to walk through that as well, because everyone's like, you spent $236? Yes, it was $236 on ads for my business, and I made six figures my first year. So it's an excellent return on ad spend, not ROI, return on ad spend. So that's a fun one. And then I write deals from a raft. And a lot of people always go, what does that mean? My husband will come out and he'll go, so are you working today? And I'll be like, yeah, I got my phone right here. And I'll be floating in our backyard on my raft, and I'll be drafting deals from, my MLS, or I'll be texting clients, or I'll be doing follow-up. And I think agents really don't embrace the fact that real estate really does offer you a really great work-life balance if you just set it up in the right way. That actually gets walked through more in the free series I offer later. But yeah, this little janky yellow cord that's hanging here, I tie my raft up to it, and I just kind of float out there, and I get a lot of work done from right in my backyard, and I don't have to always be on the road, be behind a desk, go to my office. In fact, my office laughs at me and they say, "You only come in here for a paycheck." And I said, "That's the only time I need to come in here."
And that's how it should be. That's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. All right. Cool. Well, get us started with some of the steps you took to make that happen in your first year.
Absolutely. Well, the first thing that I really had to do is I had to wrap my mind around the idea that a lot of agents come in here and they just don't make the money. And so I had to really sit down and say, okay, what kind of money do I need to make? And what are the real stats in this industry? So I actually, before I even truly transitioned from my previous career in television to real estate, I interviewed people. I interviewed mortgage lenders, I interviewed title reps, I interviewed several brokers to kind of get an idea of how they viewed the industry and what true expectations I should have. And I was really kind of surprised by the conversations that I got from a lot of the brokers, because it was just that. Most agents take about 5 years to get up and running. So you have to just, work and grind and do what you have to do. You have to spend money to make money, which we all know that we do have to spend money to make money. And I understood that. But it was just wrapping my head around being told that I wouldn't make even, $42,000 my first year. But that would be the situation for the next 5 years. And again, I couldn't afford to do that. So I sat down and I really created a business plan and a marketing plan, and I gave myself a budget. And then I became like the Facebook agent around here. That's really where I started, was doing ads on Facebook, as most do. But I always tease my students and I say it was the Wild West days of Facebook, because nobody was using it. The platform was very different. But it was where I got my start, and it was the least expensive that I could utilize in that time to make, to try and make some money. And it did really well. I actually, on the not all of the $236, but on 2 specific ads, I ran, one was a 4-day for $40, and it was for listings. It was for sellers. And I got 192 seller leads, and which was unheard of. And to get that many in my email, even I was like, oh my gosh, this is unreal, because my email just kept blowing up. And then I ran another ad a week later using the same sort of strategy, and I got 347 buyer leads. So I knew then the power of Facebook. So I started really designing notes on what worked, what didn't, started doing a lot of A/B testing. And for those of you who are new to the real estate industry, or maybe you've been in it and you've been wanting to use Facebook, or whether it just hasn't been a part of it, there's so much more to it. And especially now with all of the changes, even just this year, we've seen it in the news and in headlines about Facebook and NAR and, the violating of, fair housing rules, it's a big problem in the industry. And so what has forced Facebook to do is to remove a ton of those third-party demographics that are in there. But the reality is, as an agent, it's still our responsibility to make sure that we are promoting our business properly. So once I started, getting kind of better nurtured into the whole Facebook realm of things for my business, that's when I started teaching other agents how to do it. But I didn't just do it just blindly, because I think a lot of people start in a very blind sense on Facebook. They go, oh, I'm just going to post an ad, and I'm going to get all these leads, and I'm going to make my 6 figures. And there's nothing further from the truth than that. I mean, it doesn't work that way. buyers and sellers don't convert that fast. I wish that they did, because man, I would have killed it my first year, even though I still did, but the numbers just don't really work that way. And, we all are on social media and many platforms, and we know that it takes a lot more to nurture a lead to get them to convert. So it's about relationship building. It's about having the conversation and being consistent with the conversation. But in short, yeah, go ahead.
Let me just ask you a question in some detail. You don't have to show it to us, but what was the message that worked so well? Was it that you asked the right question? Was it the right image? What are you finding that's really important?
Back then, they did not offer any sort of video. It was all imagery. White kitchens always worked really good. They converted really good. And it's about creating the question to the seller. So you're talking about their pain point. You're asking a question about their pain point. Then you're inserting in very short, discrete way how you're creating value for them. And then you're creating a sense of urgency or scarcity to get them to actually convert or do the call to action.
So these are the three components.
Those are the three components that are vital.
Okay, the question that touches on the pain point, the how you can help in some subtle way without too much about you, right?
Yep.
And then the scarcity or immediate call to action. Yep,
exactly.
Okay.
So those are the three components that are very useful for someone who's scrolling through their newsfeed. Nowadays, video is extremely powerful, and it's powerful for a couple of reasons. And I actually want to show this slide here that I created, because I think it kind of walks through that just a little bit, just to explain it. Okay. Oh, well, this is for let me go to this one. So I always call it the death of the face-to-face, because we've really lost the ability to work with customers on a face-to-face level. So the first thing is that social media does spoil the sell. So if you're a good seller and you're really good face-to-face with people, social media has kind of killed that. Now people are actually going to social media platforms to search businesses before they even conduct business with them. So if you miss that interaction, I had a student one time, she said, I really like shaking someone's hand. I like looking in their eye. I like them to see that they can trust me. And a lot of people get that when they see me face to face. She said, I have a hard time getting people to let me even come over and do that. And I said, yes, the death of the face-to-face does exist, and social media is the reason for it. And the crazy thing is, you have to somehow ingrain yourself in that change, because it increases year by year by 45.1%. That more and more people are using social media to do their business and do their research. And that's how they're conducting business. And the crazy stat is only 1% actually thrive in social media in the real estate industry. That's a very small percentage, because we're kind of finally taking that turn into the social media realm. Like the last year, people are finally going, oh, I need to get on Facebook. I need to start having a business page. I need to start communicating to my customers. And the best way to do that now, because of the Facebook algorithm, is obviously online branding with video. Video is a natural organic push that Facebook uses to send out to customers. Or if you're even importing customers of yours, whether you use Espresso Agent or you have a CRM of your own database, it's one of the best ways to stay on top of your client by creating branded videos that are targeted to those customers. And then the crazier thing is that, the social, I went back one, sorry. The social reach is expanding, but the social reach is down. So what happens is everything has changed in terms of the social platform, where everyone's starting to post stuff, but then they're not getting any engagement, but the demand for it is higher, which means the expense of using social media to reach those customers is actually costing everybody more. And that's because there's more users on it. And then there's also people who are saying we're being sold to too much in the social platform. So one of the biggest things you can do for your business is to stop selling it. stop selling it, and start providing value and content that motivates and inspires people. You know, things that make people laugh, people that people can connect with, things that are more shareable than who wants to buy a house, who needs to sell. People are just tired of being sold, and they're tired of seeing heavy advertising on the social platforms that they're hiding them. So Facebook is lowering the amount of times that we're seeing ads, and even Instagram and YouTube. I mean, all of the platforms. I probably am sounding more Facebook centric today, just because it seems to be the space that most agents are trying to push their business onto. So that's just one of my little charts that I share in my class, because I think it's important for people to understand that. And some people like it. Some people are not comfortable face to face. They don't interact very well. And I actually find that sometimes those people do a little bit better online because they're a little introverted. So they might be a little more tech savvy and a little more, into the analytics of things, where people who are social, like me, I like, when I'm with my clients, I touch their arm, I shake their hand. It seems like when we're done, we hug goodbye. It's like, it's like this family experience. But you have to be able to get there first. And so that's sometimes where that disconnect comes in with people's business.
So if you are using Facebook in two different formats, basically you can be using it from an ad spend standpoint, and you're using that formula you talked about where you're being very specific with who you're trying to target, versus using it as a form of connection and attraction to your business instead of selling, right? Like just talk a little bit about the differences there and what you've done from a strategy standpoint from the connection.
Perfect. And that's actually one of the best things that we can talk about here today. And it's about defining your business model. What's your positioning? What's your niche? Who are you? Where's your value coming from? I live on the water. I know everything about living on the water. And that is my niche. I can talk to you in 2 seconds about FEMA and about flood insurance and about how to apply for a LOMA and, what to look for in a seawall and what boat hoist can be upgraded. When you have problems with your hoist, who do you call? When your seawall, all of those things, I can just snap all the information out, and I've got contacts and resources. And so I talk about water items all the time. I've done a ton of interviews just about getting out of flood insurance, which is extremely expensive in some cases. So it's about defining your business model and where you can really provide the best service to somebody based on your knowledge. And that can be a myriad of things. I've talked to agents across the country who have passions that are very unique that you go, how do you intertwine that? There's an agent in Nashville who is a Beatles fan, and everything in his business is Beatles related. He loves to work with people who are Beatle nuts like he is, and he hosts parties and does a lot of unique things like that. So it's about creating that unique strategy that you can truly feel comfortable speaking about, because that's where you're going to be the most valuable. And it can be anyway. It can be single moms. It can be military families. It can be seniors. It can be millennials. I mean, there's just so many different areas that you can define your niche based on the things that you feel the most comfortable with. Because when you're more comfortable, you're more believable. People feel more trustworthy with you, and the process is much more natural.
Yeah, more authentically.
Absolutely.
Which is what will then attract. It's going to repel some people, but it will attract some people as well.
It will. I think one of the, I'm actually glad you really brought that up. I think a lot of agents, when they get in this business, they're told just try and work with as many customers as you can, get as many leads and convert as many as you can. And that's one of the things I set out right away after I had a couple experiences where I said, you know what? I don't need to work with everybody. I need to work with the customers that are the right fit for me and my personality, how I do business. So there's a lot of questions that you need to ask yourself so that you know what kind of customer you want to work with. Because a lot of people just spread themselves so thin, and then they're working with clients who are horrible to work with. And we all have been there where we've had just a horrible client. And it's okay to say to that client, you know what, I don't think we're a good fit. I can refer you to another agent that I think would work really well with you. Or it's okay to just end the relationship. because it does happen in this business. It's a, when you're working in this service industry, there's all kinds of people you run into, and someone that you think that you get because you got a good lead might not necessarily be the best fit. You could be working with this client for a month or 2 or 6, and you dread it. You see the phone ring and it's them, and you just go, oh my gosh. So it's really just about prioritizing your business, knowing your business model, and being confident that maybe this client isn't the right one, but there's others out there that are. And the sooner you get rid of the ones that aren't, the faster you're going to find the ones that are perfect for you.
You're right. You're right. When you're showing up as not yourself, you're going to attract those that aren't a fit with you.
That's like attracts like.
Yeah, that's right. I heard the greatest story I've got on that is and I'll make it real short, this younger kid that was just getting into the business, and he was putting on his suit and his tie and whatever, and he was just not having any luck, but he was showing up and he wanted to. And the coach said, what would you wear if you weren't in real estate, like in the office right now? He said, oh dude, I'm a t-shirt and hat guy. He said, start wearing your freaking t-shirt and hat. Yes. And it was like magic overnight who he began to attract, because he just became himself and wasn't trying to be something he wasn't.
Absolutely. And I think, when agents start in the industry, or even agents that have been here for a while, I've had agents come to my classes and they say, well, you've done this, this, and this, and I follow you, and what do you think is the best? And I was like, well, those are items that I wanted to do because they fit what my business model was. Is that what you want to do? Are you comfortable with it? Because I agree. We have agents around here who are buttoned up in 3-piece suits. And then we've got agents like me. 9 times out of 10 in the summer, I have flip-flops on. I've got capri pants on. But people expect it. If I'm showing houses, and, with my broker, sometimes we'll take we'll take the buyers out on the boat, because it's better to see the house from the river or the lakeside or on the canal, and they can see it from a different perspective. So we're providing just a different experience. And everything in life is about experience and how it makes you feel. It's much more memorable. So I agree 100% with what you said.
Love it. Okay. What's the biggest mistake you see agents doing on Facebook or not doing on Facebook?
They lack consistency.
Consistency.
They lack consistency.
Down.
They lack consistency. And a lot of times they are intimidated to put themselves out there. Fear is, one of those factors that, is the killer of all things. So if you're not willing to just move out of your comfort zone and put yourself out there, and I'm not saying you have to do live videos of your face on there every day. It's not for everybody. But I tell clients, there's nothing wrong with going live. You don't even have to show your face. You can show the house, walk through the house, and they never have to see your face, but you're just creating a more virtual experience for a potential customer. And just being more authentic. Be true to who you are, conversate in a way that obviously, doesn't violate our code of ethics or anything like that, but just in an authentic way that people can really see who you are as a person, because they'll connect with you. And it's funny how much faster you'll convert buyers and sellers.
Oh yeah. What mix I'm sure you're not this calculated, but if you were to calculate what kind of mix you're doing personal to business on your page? And are you doing it on your personal page versus your business page?
So that's a great point. So it is a violation of NAR and Facebook to post any business stuff on your personal page. You have to start it from your business page. You can share it all day long back to your personal page, but anything that is for commercial gain has to start on your business page.
Okay.
So I always start everything on my business page, and it's a mix of everything. Like, I took my son out for ice cream the day before school, and I took a picture of him eating his ice cream, and I engage with my local businesses too. So I tagged, the local ice cream parlor that we were at, and said last day before, school starts, and getting our last, ice cream in, and people share that stuff. They like it, and they just start commenting like, oh, I was just there yesterday. And just because you commented on it, or the business owner will you'll see them kind of peek their head out the corner, like someone just said they're here. Who's here? And then they come out and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you for posting, or tagging our business on your page. Like, we appreciate it. And then you create, just a different conversation. That's how you can kind of get that personal interaction too. So it's a good mix of both. I do business. If I have a pending listing, a new listing, I'll throw it up there. A closed deal. I do post about decorating because that's kind of like my love and passion. A lot of my clients know that. And then I throw in some personal stuff because I think people still want to know that you're just a normal human being, that goes to the orthodontist or that, goes to this restaurant that's popular by our house. So I try to mix it all in there.
Yeah, because that's where the connection happens.
Yeah, it does.
People can relate to you in some way. Oh, I have kids too. She's a mom. She's, struggling in this way or loving this or is passionate about decorating. So am I. I'm going to use her to sell my house.
It's so true. Yeah, you'll get that a lot worse. I'll get just random Facebook messages like, hey, I love what you did in your your new office. Do you do consultations on decorating? I'm like, no, I don't really. It's not, it's not something I do for a profession, but if you want some help, and it was like, she was like, I'm just trying to figure out a gray paint. Do you have a suggestion? And so it's just kind of helpful things kind of that goes outside of the perimeter of what I do for my income, but it's a great dialogue that I have with customers.
Well, you're coming from contribution there, which is valuable, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Donovan has a question, NAR violation to post real estate related posts from our personal page, question mark. Yes, that's clarifying what you said, correct? But we can share from the business page onto our personal page.
Yeah, so for instance, if you are posting one of your new listings on your personal page, basically, in short, Facebook's terms of use says you cannot post items of commercial gain on your personal page. They have to start from a business page and then they can be transferred. You can share from your business page back onto your personal page and still share it, but they want it to start from the business page first.
Can you, if I'm just out showing houses and it's raining and I take a picture and, hey, I'm like the mailman. I show houses in rain, sleet, snow, whatever, where I'm not actually selling something, but I'm demonstrating what I'm doing. That's okay, correct?
Well, clarify. So if you came to my listing and you were taking videos or...
No, I was still in my car waiting for the buyer and I just took a picture that it was raining outside and I was waiting to show a house. I was sort of just documenting, kind of more documentary style, that what I was doing for the day, but not talking about the house, not showing the house, just or just posting a picture of my, I don't know, umbrella, showing houses in the rain today.
Yeah, you can, that sort of stuff you can post on your personal page because you're not doing it for any commercial gain. You're not selling the umbrella or the rain, right? You're just working. But there's something to be said about sharing that information on your business page too, because again, that attracts people to your business just by seeing that you are out regardless of what the weather is, and you're out there performing and you're smiling and you're having a good time, and they connect with that. So I always say start even that conversation right from the business page. But yeah, absolutely, that kind of stuff you can all day.
Cool. We just want to clarify because I think a lot of people are doing it wrong. I don't know how much they're watching this, but I would hate to be the person that hits the first slap on the wrist in my market.
Absolutely. So, and I'll kind of go through the basics of the rules. So the first rule, again, is making sure that you start any sort of commercial gain process. If you post a listing, post it on your business page first. The other thing that you cannot do is in my, through my MLS, when I'm searching for a listing, we now have social icons at the top. And so now you can share the listing on your page. Well, the reality is it could be, Monica, it could be your listing, but I'm posting it, but I'm logged into my database. So when that shares, whose face is on it? Mine, my broker's information. And we have to give proper broker designation when we are posting. So I would have to either, one, share something from your page about that listing that you posted. Another thing that, because some agents still don't have their Facebook page up, or they just don't use their business that way, but maybe you want to share it, the next best thing to do is to tag the brokerage firm and the agent within the copy or the text when you are sharing it, so that at least there's proper designation being given. And I know that there's, a lot of confusion on that, but really the only thing that can really get you in big trouble is the listing part of it. You can push out any other stuff you want that's, you can share links from HGTV if you want. You can share links from other sources that are informative. It's just that listing piece. And I think a lot of agents get confused, that they go, oh, well, I can't share anything on my personal page, or I can only market and advertise, or I can't market and advertise my listings anymore because it's a violation if I'm not opening it up to everybody. But when you're talking about building your niche and, being at the ice cream store, and if you want to, boost those or put them in your ads manager, you can do that all day long, and you can target who your niche is.
And so if it's a Forbes magazine article linked to top 10 things to consider when staging your house or something, that's fine on your personal page. Although you're saying you're missing an opportunity to put it on your business page and share it to your personal page. Right?
Absolutely, because now it's a separate, you're touching both. If you share it on your business page first and you share it to your personal page, then you're collecting, eyes from both audiences.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Ryan, can you post a Facebook Live video from another agent's listing after a buyer showing to help find a buyer for that listing? Oh, so if you were in the house showing somebody else's listing, can you take a video of it? I know that's probably state by state, but I think that's a no-no, I think. Right?
Well, right, because technically you don't have a contract to promote
with
that person's property. So if anything, I always tell my agents, let's say for instance, so Ryan, the question is from you. If it were my listing and you were going to my listing, and you said, hey, Chris, I'm going to show a buyer, or I'm going to do an agent preview, I'd really like to do a walkthrough. And this is where the gray area is, because we don't have any anything in writing from a national level or even a state level that has a social media guidebook.
Clause or something, yeah.
Right. I mean, we've got a couple things that we are required to follow within our Facebook, and it's really just about the listings and the commercial, postings. So it's kind of left up for the broker to really decide, are you going to let someone else go into one of your listings? And then ultimately you have to ask the seller, because some of our contracts actually say no virtual tours, and some might say that you're providing a virtual tour and we don't allow that. And so you're posting my property on your live Facebook page. I don't have a contract with you. I don't want virtual tours being done. So it really comes down to, you got to talk to the broker, you got to talk to the listing agent, and ultimately the seller would be able to make that decision.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I have another question, but I don't want to pull you off of your.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're good.
So for everybody on the call, whether they're brand new in the business or they've been around and they're having success and they just want to get refocused on social media and create some sort of daily practice or system, what do you have something you follow, or what do you recommend?
I do, and I have a system that I've been using for a long time. I do a couple things, so I'm going to see if I can show you on my phone here. Just a lot of agents don't even know that this exists, but if you look down here, this is the Facebook Business Page Manager app.
Oh.
So most people don't have that. So download that so you can streamline your business a little bit, because we get into our Facebook personal app and it's like a CNN ticker, like there's so much information in there. Yeah. It's like information overload, and you go, gosh, I know somebody sent me a message on my business page and I can't find it anymore. So get the app, start there.
Okay. Good.
The other thing I tell agents to do is pick a day of the week that is like your admin day, and sit for an hour and just pull up a Word document. Find all the links that you want to create content out of. Like I said, you can go to Pinterest. If you are more of an analytics person, or maybe your MLS has awesome tools that are free for you to use, or whatever it is, content that you can share, and in that hour, go to the scheduler and just pre-schedule all of your posts. And then that way on Monday, your whole week is done. And Facebook has it set up really nice. If, let's say, for instance, you are doing this on a Monday and you got a new listing and you already know that you're going to be doing the open house on Sunday, you could post that event and schedule that post to go out, let's say on Thursday. But then Thursday shows up and you've already sold the house. Well, you can go in and you just delete that scheduled post. The other great thing that it does, and I encourage people to do this anytime you do an open house and you post that online, always make sure that you remove it. And a lot of people will go to my page and they'll go, well, you don't have this or you don't have that. And I said, yeah, there's a reason for it. I've had people call me and say, hey, I'm here at your open house. And I was like, that was last Sunday.
Yeah, they're not even looking.
The print. They're saying, they're saying Sunday open house and they think it's, that Sunday. So Facebook allows you to add, there's a checkbox in there that just says, remove this by 4 p.m. If your, open house is done at 4 p.m., they just have Facebook take it off your page completely at 4 p.m. because social media, I think people forget, it's a viral platform. Things continue to move and surge and resurface. I mean, we've seen, all kinds of things that maybe we even, saw a year ago, funny jokes or memes or videos that still kind of resurface. Our stuff can resurface too. So I just say take an hour of your week and plan out all of your posts for the week and then engage because, you don't have to sit on the computer all day. It's obviously not a dollar generating activity, but you can easily just check your phone. Your notifications can show up on your screen and you just go right to the business page app and you can, communicate messages and anyone who's liked or commented on your posts.
And then when you see that pop up, then you'll just share it to your personal page if you choose to do that at that time because you see that it comes up live.
Well, yeah, so when I post something and if I want to share it to my personal page, absolutely. Then you can go from the app and you can share it over.
Right, got it. Okay. Okay. So you you set out for the week a schedule, and that's one of the advantages of the business page, obviously, that you can do the scheduler because that doesn't exist on your personal page.
Correct. And you can't advertise or promote anything on your personal page either.
Anyway, that's right. Okay. Yeah. And so what are your fillers in between that, that you'll set out for the week? What opportunities are you looking for in your day to utilize in a purposeful fashion?
Well, let's see. I guess it depends because I try new technologies all the time and different methods that, because I'm really a tech junkie. So I love to see new software and platforms that are out there, especially because I talk with a lot of agents and everyone has a different business model. So I kind of switch things up. Every 6 months, I try to switch into a different platform and try new things. I'm not much of a cold caller, but what's interesting, like for instance, with this Espresso agent, because it is data, there's still a way to interact with them. I still can send them viral videos. I send them listing videos. Things that interact with them in a very different way. So it just depends on what the day holds, but I really also try to stick to what my personal appointments and agenda is too. And I think agents forget that. If you've got a dentist appointment on Tuesday at 3, like keep your dentist appointment Tuesday at 3.
Absolutely. And in general, through your day, as you're doing those things, I guess I'm trying to get at, a lot of agents struggle with, I don't know what to post. I don't know what to post. What opportunities are you looking for to post on Facebook that might be out of the norm of the traditional, like, hey, new listing, hey, open house?
Absolutely.
Other kind of ideas.
Yeah, I actually have a sheet. It's like a 30-day idea sheet for Facebook, especially for newbies, because that's the one thing they struggle with is ideas. So when you're not really quite sure what you're trying to, or your niche that you're trying to settle into, sometimes it's keeping it very broad scale. For me, I focus on the things that I love, which is the decorating piece. I talk about, I work in very specific communities also. And they're all based on the water. So I look for events that are running in our town. I'll try and do special things for like hometown heroes, like kids that are doing great in school. I'll do little special things for them. I run contests for my clients. So I just try to stick to the things that are still a part of my positioning. Instead of getting so far out there where it doesn't really fit. Because then sometimes people go, oh, that's odd. I wonder why she posted that on there. Because people start to see, like, they kind of know what your niche is. And then if you go outside of it, sometimes they get a little confused. Like, well, wait a minute. So did she switch, or like, is she doing something else? I don't get it.
Right. Oh, that's great.
So sticking to content that really fits your positioning.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. So if you were to be talking one-on-one with each and every person on this call right now, and I know you have something that they can take advantage of and dive in a little bit more, we should probably get to that here in a minute.
Perfect, yeah.
Consistency is the number one thing.
Yeah.
What else do you see that agents are really missing out on?
Absolutely. I've actually got a slide for that, so I'm going to share that real quick. That way we can run through that. Oh, this is a funny one. So I always tell everybody, please remember, like, don't be Jerry Maguire. You have value. Yeah. Your service is priceless. Please don't beg people for business.
Right.
You know, I mean, I know it worked out for Jerry in the end, but still, the struggle he went through that whole time, just trying to make himself seem or feel like he was worth something. So just remember, you have value, and don't downplay your service.
I love it.
All right, so these are the steps, basically, to 6 figures. And I know it looks like a lot, but it's really not. So first of all, remember, this isn't a hobby. You know, people who have hobbies don't make 6 figures. They're doing it for fun. They don't care if they make money. A lot of times they're not pushing a sale. This is a business. And then the next big thing is the business planning. If you don't create a business plan for yourself on a yearly basis, you really don't know where you have come from and where you need to go. So if you're just walking into this blind, you're going to spend too much money. You're going to get burnt out. And then you're not really going to know where your next deal is coming from because you haven't really set a strategic plan. Because again, consistency is where this, where this really works out. The marketing budget, you got to open up the wallet. You do have to, have some money to spend. Because the reality is you do have to spend money to make money, but it doesn't have to be a lot. You saw my very first year, I only spent $236 on ads. So it just comes down to creating that fine-tuned business plan, and then making sure that you stick to that plan and the budget. If something's not working, you have to kind of reframe yourself. Next is design a forecasting sheet that you can monitor. This is actually one of my favorite things that I ever did in my business. And it's an Excel sheet. It has 2 tabs. And I put, every customer or potential customer's name on it. And then I put their dollar range that they're looking at. I might say, like, let's say it's, $250,000. And I put in there what month that they are potentially going to be buying or selling. And then I have the commission. And then it starts tailing at the bottom. And when you start seeing that number, gross sales, 1 million. And then, when you can actually see what your potential income is going to be, it's amazing how much more you start working to focus on that sheet. You start doing the calls, you start doing the follow-up. And that is a great way to track your performance, and it gets you excited because you see that number moving. And then on the next page, it just tells you each month, like, how that breaks down for you. What's your income for the month? So if you know, like, you need $5,000 or $10,000 a month to pay your bills, you can see if you're forecasting that. And if you're not, then what are you doing to correct that? So that's one of my favorite sheets that I've made for my business. And again, you have to learn how to market to your audience. When we get into this business, we are the CEO and we are the admin. I mean, we are everything in between. And the misconception is you come here and you're just going to start selling houses. And it's not the case. I wish it was, but it's just not. So you have to really learn how to put that marketing hat on. And there are several tools out there and resources and technologies that you can use, like Espresso Agent, that helps you to get the traction that you need. So, you have to learn how to market to that audience. And sometimes it just takes time to fine tune it. So just remember, like, be patient with yourself because it's a work in progress always. And then again, it goes down to being consistent. And then set yourself apart. And the reality is, setting yourself apart is really not that hard. You know what you're great at. You know what your talents are and your skill sets are. Focus on those things. Focus on the things that are your favorite. And those people who connect with that, I'm telling you, they will find you. And then just have your business set up and ready. So many agents, they come to me and they say, I've been doing this for a year, and I finally got my listing appointment, but I don't have a listing presentation. Do you have one? And I'm like, well, what have you been doing all year? While you're waiting for these customers, you should have your business templates and accessories set up so that when you do get the call, you are ready, and you don't feel like you're scrambling to try and figure it out. So those are really the 6 figures, steps to 6 figures. But like I said, it seems like a lot, but when you really look down at it, it's really not.
Well, it's all about treating the business like a business. Like, this whole thing is about showing up differently than you would show up if you had a hobby. I mean, I love that you start out with that. You're right. And a lot of people don't think like that. Do you follow Gary Vaynerchuk?
No.
I think
you write it down.
Yeah, Gary Vaynerchuk, Vaynerchuk, but he's Gary V is what he goes by. But he speaks, he's an entrepreneur. He's amazing. I couldn't even describe him. But I think you would love a lot of his principles. But mainly it's come from contribution. The best marketing strategy is to be kind.
Yeah.
Hustle, treat your business like a business. Some of these core basics that you're touching on that seem simple but are missed by every agent that's struggling. It's these little components that are overlooked, like a forecast or a pipeline report. I mean, of course we all should have one. And if you guys don't have one, that should be what you do tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Setting up that foundation. And again, the hobby thing is the biggest thing. So many people come into it. We have a ton of agents. I mean, across the country, there's so many that get their license year over year. I mean, I think there's like 55,000 new agents every year across the country.
Wow.
And 80% of them are not in the business after a year or two. But that's a lot of agents coming in here. So, something is missing. And a lot of them do come in thinking, oh, I'll just do this for fun. It's still, you still have to pay
Yeah, right.
To have a license.
Right.
Even if you haven't done anything yet, there's, we have, things that we have natural expenses to be in this industry. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So how can people get more of you?
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited that I was able to do this today. So first, I just want to say thank you for having me on here and, asking me all these awesome questions. And I want to thank everyone that came to the webinar today. So just as a special treat for everyone who is in attendance, I'm offering a free 3-part Master Your Market series. It's something I offer to students on occasion, actually only maybe once or twice a year. So I am happy to roll it out to everyone who's here today. And if you have the link, I'm
going to post the link right now. I got it.
Okay,
there
perfect.
It is.
Yeah,
and we're going to mail it out as a follow-up to this as well.
Perfect. Yeah, so you'll get it tomorrow in an email, but it's a free course. If you register for it today or tomorrow or anytime over the weekend, it's not going to actually launch until Monday. So that's when the class actually starts. It's on Monday. It's on demand, so don't feel like you got to go, well, what time is it? It's on demand because we know every agent's schedule is very different. Nice. So you can watch it at your leisure on, the days that it comes out. You'll get an email in the morning when the new video is out, so you can have access to it. But it's just a nice precursor to what we talked about today. There's a couple additional bonuses in there and downloads, and then you can conversate with me more in there too, because I'm in there every day, and there's the threads in there. We can conversate. If you have questions about your business or things that you're struggling with. That's the whole point, is to encourage you to keep moving forward and then to ask questions when you're stuck.
I love it.
Perfect.
Thank you for all these great tidbits. And
You're welcome.
I see it a lot with agents that are just missing an opportunity in Facebook because of shyness or assuming people don't want to see. Isn't it cool that people love what we do?
Yeah,
we aren't selling insurance.
I know, we actually have a fun job.
And people love what we do. They love real estate. They want to know more. They want to know what you're doing. You're not bothering them by showing up as a realtor.
No. And in fact, like I said, you've got most people, I think the actual percentage now is like 62% of people start their search of a business on Facebook now. It used to be Google. Yelp had a little stretch there when it was, you know, people for reviews and things like that. So you have to have some sort of presence on there. Even if you just start by being a part of your broker's page, hopefully your broker has, you know, their page, but it's just, you got to have your presence somewhere, especially if you don't have a website or anything like that. You got to stand out in a digital space, because that's where the consumers are.
Do you have a number of friends that's a good core starting spot to have, you know, to be casting a big enough net? In other words, is 300 friends not enough? Is 1,000 friends a good number? Do you care?
No, to me, it's all about the quality of the customer. To me, it's never quantity, it's always quality. Because there's people who have pages that have 10 or 15,000 followers on it, but you'll never see any activity on it. And then you'll see people who have 200, and there's people constantly commenting and sharing. So to me, it's all about the quality of the person who you have as a follower, and it's about the quality of your content.
Awesome. Love it. Chris, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you, everyone else, for showing up today. I hope you had all your questions answered. Hopefully we didn't miss any. I'm just trying to check.
We were hitting them along the way. So Donovan says thanks a lot, and appreciate you all being here. Go get on your Facebook page and post something.
Yes, you should say hi, like tag, check into Espresso Agent or the Real Estate Marketing Institute. Say hi to us. Like our pages. Follow us. Yeah.
There you go. All right, Chris, thanks a lot. Really appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thanks, everyone.
All right, guys. See you next time.
Bye.